Welcome to You Are Your Name. In this season, we are interviewing people who have balanced their names through the Kabbalion philosophy. If you've been following our podcast, you'll know that the Kabbalion philosophy teaches that names create a huge influence on our thinking, our health, and the experiences we attract, and that balanced names will create a more balanced life. We have people from all over the world changing their names, and we thought it would be helpful for you to listen to some of the changes they experienced after they balanced their names. So our guest today is Steffany Alden. Thank you for joining us, Steffany.
Thank you for having me.
So how long have you been using a balanced name?
Well, actually, I've been using a balanced name for 40 years. I heard about the philosophy in 1984, and I took the life analysis training course in 1985. And then after the course, I changed my name.
How did you find out about the philosophy?
Well, I'd been searching for a long time for a number of years, and I was really searching for answers. And I used to spend a lot of time in the library and at Banyan Books, looking at different books on New Age theories and looking at religion as well. And I even tried meditation for on a weekend. There was a retreat, and I thought maybe the answer is through meditation. And I tried different areas like Reiki, with just working with energy. But one day I drove by the hall, and there was a sign outside the hall, and it said, "You are your name." And at that time, I was just so intent on finding the answers. And I remember looking at that sign, and I pointed it to the sign. I thought, next, this is what I'm looking at next. And then, funny enough, after making that decision, I was working at that time at BC Hydro. And then I ended up talking to a colleague who actually was a student in the philosophy. And so from there, I attended a public lecture. And that's when I was first introduced to the philosophy and to the mathematical principle.
So what gave you the confidence to go ahead with the name change?
I took the math class in my 1 year. And so I was introduced to the course and learning about the principle of 1 to 9. And it made a lot of sense. And then I also got a name analysis, and I couldn't believe how accurate my name analysis was. And so I thought, if the philosophy is able to explain who I am so accurately, there must be something to a balanced name. And at that time, I just didn't like my name. It was very discordant, and I was very self-conscious as a person with that name. And so I wanted to change. I wanted to have a better life. And that's where I made the decision to change my name.
Was it a difficult process to change your name?
No, actually, it wasn't at all. It was actually quite easy. I filled out a change of name application form, and I submitted it to Vital Statistics with a copy of my birth certificate, and the cost was $50 at that time. And then I had to advertise my change of name in 2 magazines. So I chose the BC Gazette and the Common Ground. And then that was it. And I had my name, and I got my change of name in the mail, and I was really excited about it. It was wonderful.
What changes did you notice after taking on a balanced name?
Well, in terms of my health, with the old name, my hands and feet were always cold, and I had heart palpitations regularly, almost every day. And with the new name, I found that right away my hands and feet were warm, and my heart palpitation stopped. And initially, for about 2 weeks, I had a pain on my left side, just where the top of my ribs are. And, when you run fast and all of a sudden you get a stitch. And well, I had that, especially when I would get up from my bed in the morning. And that lasted for about 2 weeks. So I had to breathe slowly. And then that disappeared. And so, physically, I could see that was a change. In terms of, my thinking, with the old name, I was extremely shy. I lacked confidence a lot, and I was very sensitive and also very self-conscious around other people. And I lacked verbal communication. And I found that with the new name, that all disappeared. I was much more confident and outgoing and expressive. So it was just an exciting experience to go through, especially with the old name that I had, because I tried so many ways to overcome my shyness over the years, but it just never worked. I tried modeling, I tried self-development courses, I tried doing radio, and just to get out of my shyness and also to communicate, but it just didn't help. But with the thinking, with the new name, it just came so naturally. The minute I changed my name, my expression totally changed, and also my confidence. So it was really wonderful experience to go through.
So presumably in your name report, it talked about those qualities, and with the balanced name, you're basically overcoming those obstacles because your new name is balanced.
Yes, absolutely. I remember the person who I talked to at BC Hydro, he said, when you change your name, you'll see your life will be very different. And I couldn't picture what that would look like because of the old name that I had. And now when I think back to my original name, it's so foreign to me. And so it's an interesting turnaround, to see myself with the balanced name looking to my past and realizing that I'm so different now than what I was in the past.
You've had it for a number of years, obviously. What changes are the most dramatic in the sense of how has your life changed?
Well, with the understanding of the mathematical principle, you understand the concept of 1 to 9 and how it applies to all phases of life, particularly with one's name and cycles. And with that understanding, there's much more objectivity in looking at a person because you understand their makeup and you know why they behave a certain way. And also that awareness of cycles, that we follow a cycle and there's a right time to seed, a right time to harvest. And so life becomes more harmonious in that regard by following the cycles. And there's also other aspects as well to the philosophy. It's not just a change of name, but it's also looking at breathing, the impact of breathing, how it helps vitalize the body and the mind, and also what we study about mind. And so it's just a complete philosophy of life, which applies to everyone. Doesn't matter where you come from, what religions you're part of, which country you live in. Every person has that opportunity to find the truth and to live their potential in life.
What advice would you give to someone considering a balanced name?
Just do it. Just get the balanced name. You won't regret it. It's the most important and rewarding decision you'll ever make in your life. You'll look back, in time to see where you came from and what your life is like. And you'll attract opportunities more easily. You'll have better health. Your life will be more harmonious. And, when you think about the name that you were given at birth, you didn't have a choice, but to actually choose a name is actually very powerful because you're the one choosing that particular name. Yeah, and your life will change for the better.
Good thoughts. Do you have any final comments you'd like to share with the listening audience?
I've been a student for 40 years and I haven't looked back from the day I heard about the philosophy, and it's just a wonderful way of life. And I'm so appreciative and grateful for the opportunity to be a student. I feel it's just remarkable to be part of the philosophy. And I hope you have the same opportunity to learn about it.
Thank you, Steffany. Really appreciate your thoughts, and I'm sure people will benefit from your insights and your perspective.
Thank you for having me today.
If you'd like to test this principle on yourself, just get a free name report from our website, which is kabalarians.com. That's KABALARIANS.com. It's a 20 to 25 page report based upon your first name, your surname, any nicknames you've used, plus the combination of those names together, and your birth date. It's readily available and it's free for you to test this principle. Until the next episode, happy thoughts. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways we can help you. Number 1, the Balanced Name Recommendation Service. Join the thousands of others who have harmonized their names with their inner potential to improve their health, happiness, and success. Number 2, learn the principles of mental freedom. Participate in our online training program to gain the essential tools to create all the progressive changes you seek in your life. These proven truths will open up new perspectives and accelerate your attainment of health, happiness, and success. Number 3, let Kalex Solutions help you choose a balanced name for your business, because many business names are an impediment to one's overall business success.